if Blake Lively gets discovery. There could be, folks, we don't know, but there could be damning evidence.
And he was interviewed on the Dan Abrams show about the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case. And I think they were trying to get him to say something.
And with a pending resubmission or whatever you call it, Blake Lively's team is going to reintroduce their complaint.
We have not seen too much from Blake's camp. And we know that Blake's camp is going to be coming out with her amended complaint.
The legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has reached a new boiling point, and things are looking messier than ever. With Lively's team now facing accusations of fabricating evidence, Baldoni's lawyers have been left with no choice but to take decisive legal action. What started as a dispute over professional disagreements has turned into a full-blown courtroom war, with new evidence, leaked documents, and behind-the-scenes drama unfolding at an alarming pace. But now the spotlight is on Lively's legal team, and if these fabrication claims hold up, it could spell disaster for her entire case. So what exactly is happening, and why are Baldoni's lawyers now stepping in with full force?
It doesn't sound like someone who's been engaging in harassing conduct or who is unwilling to own his own behavior. It's organic. It kind of comes out very spontaneously, not overly planned. You look at it on the other side, you could say that there's parts of it that sound somewhat creepy. The reference to breasts and all that, could certainly be played
that's
with
my
their
point.
other
That's my
theory.
point. If he's the director and co-star and helped produce the movie, don't those comments on its face, even if well-intentioned, isn't that a form of a hostile work environment harassment? If we could put this up real quick. So this is another comment that he makes. There's nothing more exciting to me that I get to work with Blake Lively and have all of her. I mean, that's what I want. Now, I'm not suggesting that is a sexual undertone.
With allegations of fabricated evidence now at play, Baldoni's legal team has taken a direct approach in shutting down any misleading claims. The letter to the judge isn't just a small complaint, it's an outright takedown of Lively's legal tactics. Baldoni's team isn't just disputing her claims, they're now questioning the very credibility of her case. If her team truly fabricated evidence, this could blow up the entire lawsuit in a way no one saw coming.
If Blake Lively gets discovery, there could be, folks, we don't know, but there could be damning evidence. The only evidence that Blake Lively has so far is evidence that came from that PR lady's cell phone that was kind of, she left the company took the cell phone, ratted her out, and that's what they have. There could be more damning stuff. My guess is there isn't, because Justin Baldoni was pretty professional in all of his text messages. He didn't want the smear to happen. He just wanted the defense. And again, I've called this jujitsu, right? He didn't want to attack anybody. He just wanted self-defense in case she attacked him. In summary, although the Wayfair parties take exception to many of the representations advanced in the Lively party's letter, the Wayfair parties do not oppose their request for an extension and in turn request a corresponding extension. So that's them saying, hey, give it to her. And the judge, of course, only gave her a couple days.
As this case continues to dominate headlines, people can't help but draw parallels to past Hollywood scandals. Just like Amber Heard's high-profile battle with Johnny Depp, this lawsuit has divided public opinion, with certain media outlets seemingly defending Lively at all costs. But with more and more evidence piling up against her, will public perception finally shift?
I want to share something about Blake Lively that is super messed up, like diabolical, that I haven't heard anyone talk about. And I mean it. I'm not trying to get you to stick around. I really haven't heard anyone talk about. So besides being super messed up, I think it also shows that she knew what she was doing. I've even seen some Justin defenders say, well, she started believing her lies. No, I think it ends up showing that she was aware. One of the most interesting parts about this is that none of the claims happened around her co-stars. They didn't happen in private, but they didn't happen in front of the co-stars. And I think that was really important to Blake, because if one of the co-stars had been around for one of the incidents, then they would know that she was misrepresenting the facts. And that might make them call into question everything, or flat out lies. Instead of choosing, or even just making up interactions that happened when no one else was around, she chose interactions that were witnessed by the crew. Why would she do that? I think it's one of three things, and it could be all three. I don't know. Number one, she didn't value them. She didn't see that their experiences or what they witnessed as something of value. Her ego made it so they just weren't important. Who cares if they saw the truth? And number two is that she thought we wouldn't care. They are nameless people who work behind the scenes. The public won't care.
With so many shocking revelations coming out, legal experts are now stepping in to assess the damage. So far, the general consensus seems to be that Baldoni's case is getting stronger, while Lively's legal standing is becoming shakier. And if the fabrication claims turn out to be true, it could mean serious legal consequences for Lively's team.
And he was interviewed on the Dan Abrams show about the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case. And I think they were trying to get him to say something that would help out Blake. I'm going to insert the clip. It's about like 3 minutes long. But if you'll notice, the first question that he gets asked is, whose case will this interview help? And I think that if he had said, oh, this is going to really help Justin's case, I think they would have taken that into the court on Monday, because this interview took place a couple days ago, and said, see, this top expert says that all this discourse out there is hurting Blake's case and bias towards Justin. I don't know this for sure, but that's how it kind of came off. And then I think as soon as it kind of looked like all the questions they were asking about Blake's claims with SH, when that wasn't going anywhere, they just cut the interview off.
Baldoni has been strategic in how he fights back, choosing to make critical information public. And it seems Lively's team is furious about it. If Lively's case is as solid as she claims, why is she so concerned about the public seeing all the details? Could this suggest there's more to the story that her team would rather keep hidden?
So Blake Lively is now requesting that the judge put a gag order on Justin Baldoni so that he'll stop dropping evidence. Which, in a standard case, would be normal, right? Except, did we forget how this whole thing started? She filed a confidential CRD complaint in California and then leaked that to the New York Times, that then published it, removed their paywall, made it a downloadable PDF, and published all the text messages that her team provided them. So Justin Baldoni and his team are really just playing her game, and playing it better. It's just kind of funny because it's like she wants it to air out all publicly, right? And then suddenly Baldoni does it and he starts dropping receipts on her and she's like, whoa, no, that's not how the game works. I control the narrative. I'm Blake Lively. I control the narrative. I don't know about you, but I'm living for this. She chose to make it public. She chose to mention it all and put all the text messages out there and all the allegations. I have popcorn and I am eating it kernel by kernel, watching this all play out. I am obsessed with this saga. Give me 50 more chapters. What do you think? Should we just leave it to the courts or spill more tea?
And just when it seemed things couldn't get any worse, new evidence surfaced that could completely shift the direction of this case. If this new information is accurate, it could undermine Lively's claims entirely, giving Baldoni the upper hand in court. So, is this the final blow to Lively's case, or will her team come up with another counterattack?
And with a pending resubmission, or whatever you call it, Blake Lively's team is going to reintroduce their complaint on Tuesday evening, because tomorrow is President's Day, and a lot is supposedly will be revealed, which will shed a lot more light onto this entire situation. And then we'll see how the chips fall where they may. So we'll see who's going to be on Team Baldoni or Team Lively after that. But my guest today is Dr. Leslie Dobson. She is a clinical and forensic psychologist. She has a lot of thoughts on this matter, and I am pleased to have her join this program. I'm Collier Landry. Let's get in.
In a surprising twist, Lively's legal team has now introduced HR complaints into the lawsuit. While HR complaints can sometimes carry weight, the timing of this revelation raises major red flags. If these complaints were legitimate, why weren't they brought up earlier? And more importantly, does this mean Lively's team is grasping at straws?
We have not seen too much from Blake's camp. And we know that Blake's camp is going to be coming out with her amended complaint at first it was supposed to come out by Friday. They got an extension to Monday, but Monday is a federal holiday, so then they got an extension and it will be coming out on Tuesday. This amended complaint, allegedly, will be 300 pages long.
Yeah. And also, before we present anything, we do have to say, as a disclaimer, this episode is for entertainment purposes only. The information that we present, these are allegations. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So we're not here to convict anybody or claim anybody of being guilty or not guilty. This is just information that was tipped off to us. And as far as we know, this information has now been circulating to other content creators. So these documents were going to come out at some point, and we just figured, you know what, let's both come together and present the full case to you guys and give you all sides of this story.
Brian Friedman and his team, Baldoni's team, came back and said, this is not a criminal case. This is a wild, wild request. Now, meanwhile, I had done some research, and I do follow people that are lawyers, and there is a specific lawyer, and I'm going to shout her out because I find her incredibly smart, and she is, I think, more on Blake's team, but she is very smart. She's a lawyer. Her name is MJ, more with MJ on Threads, and I like her, and she is not inflammatory, and she said this is a normal request, and they're not actually asking for the content of the text messages. They're just asking for logs, meaning if Justin Baldoni has texted, if he has texted Jen Abel.
And now the narrative seems to be shifting even further. Reports are surfacing that Lively may not be the innocent party she's trying to portray. If claims of cruel remarks, manipulative tactics, and behind-the-scenes bullying are true, it could be devastating for her reputation. Could this be the moment public perception truly starts turning against her?
That's it. Game over for Blake Lively. Perez Hilton here, and as I continue to make my way through Justin Baldoni's lawsuit that he filed today against Taylor Swift's bestie and the wife of Ryan Reynolds, I am in awe at all of the new information that we've found out and the receipts that he has. One of the receipts is a game changer. I would even say game over, because the receipt is caught on video. He claims that one day during filming of It Ends With Us, Blake Lively, quote, continued to break character while the two of them filmed a romance montage to, quote, speak as herself rather than her character Lily Bloom, which, quote, was extremely confusing for Baldoni. The lawsuit alleges, quote, Lively took them out of character again and began to joke about Baldoni's nose.
As the legal battle continues, more and more details about the tension between Lively and Baldoni are coming to light. This isn't just about one lawsuit, it's about the entire history of their working relationship. So is this just the tip of the iceberg?
Ryle represents something much more than just a love interest or a protagonist to so many people. He represents a source of pain and conflict and a type of person that exists in the world that has caused a lot of harm. And I wanted that experience to be as real as possible.
There were a lot of times where I would have to go privately into a room and just cry or shake it out and try to get him out of me and that energy out of me, because it's too real. And there are too many people that are the real life Lily Blooms of the world that have to deal with that every single day. And I wanted it to be as real as possible, and yet it was very hard to shoot those scenes.
One of the most shocking claims yet is that major media outlets may have played a role in shaping public opinion. If this turns out to be true, it could change the entire landscape of this case. Is this a classic example of Hollywood media control, or is there something even bigger happening behind the scenes?
I think this is proof that they had it at least before the 16th of December, because they did have to develop this graph. And by the way, it's really important who gave it to the media first, not who published it first, because the actual rule of professional conduct, Rule 3.6, which Blake Lively's team is trying to say that Justin Baldoni's team violated. And the part where it talks about when you can defend yourself, a lawyer can make a statement to protect their client if there's a publicity not initiated by the lawyer or the lawyer's client. Not initiated. And I think initiated is the important word. It doesn't say published, it says initiate.
All the proof is there. The proof is in the pudding. Now, can you alter the metadata? I mean, I guess you could. Does the metadata have metadata? I don't know. I mean, but like in what reason would people have to do that? This case is cracked wide open. So there it is. Who's the smear machine now, New York Times? Inside a Hollywood smear machine. Turns out the killer was in the home the whole time. All right, anyhow, so I made this video over the weekend. It did really well. I interviewed my friend Misstee Flo, and excuse me, I'm working on my accent. And she had her big interview, then my nightmare interview, 6.5 million views.
And it's not just Lively facing scrutiny anymore. Ryan Reynolds and major news outlets are also being linked to the controversy. This raises huge questions about just how deep this case really goes. Could this become one of Hollywood's biggest scandals yet?
Oh my gosh, while I was doing this video, I found a date that is going to blow your mind. Oh my gosh, guys, I am just reacting live. Look at this. I said from day one, when I heard about this case, that Blake Lively was trying to Me Too Justin Baldoni. Now, there has been a slew of evidence that shows, and I'm actually working on a video to kind of put it all together for people who don't have time to keep up with all of the videos and all of the information coming out. I'm putting that together to give you a timeline, and thanks to Candace Owens, she really blew this case open.
The legal war between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has now hit an unprecedented level of chaos, with Baldoni's team calling out fabricated evidence, HR complaints being used as weapons, and media bias now under question. The stakes have never been higher. Lively's credibility is hanging by a thread, and if these fabrication claims hold up in court, it could destroy her case entirely.
You know, not using it when you don't. And that's what Blake, of course, did in the New York Times article. Rescind Blake Lively's Producers Guild Association credit, PGA credit, from It Ends With Us film. 9,000 plus signatures. Again, these change.org petitions really don't mean anything. But, you know, it still goes to show there's a lot of people that say, hey, get her out. We don't want her. And, you know, getting producer credit, take it away from her. Now, the only way I think this happens is if they rule, and how ironic would it be, that she used sexual harassment to coerce or grapple control of the project away from Justin. If the court rules that she made that all up, then maybe the same clause that she was hoping to use to gain control of the film would be used against her, that being a sort of morality clause. We'll have to see if that exists, but is it a two-way street? That's the question. All right.
Meanwhile, Baldoni is standing firm, refusing to back down as more details emerge that seem to support his side of the story. With public perception shifting, media narratives being challenged, and new evidence constantly dropping, this case is only going to get more intense. Who will come out on top? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this Hollywood legal battle is far from over.